Hey guys, welcome back.
Welcome back. Today we have a very special topic. It's called
please.
bulking,
Yay!
aka
Getting fat.
yes. Because everybody wants to talk about silly things that distract from what the goal is, and part of the reason is because they don't even know what the goal is, or they forget what the goal is, or they just go along with what they think the goal should be, or they just go along with what everybody else is doing.
They're sheep.
They're sheeple.
Sheeple. That's a good one. That was.
No, but seriously, because people just they think they should be doing something because everybody else is doing it, or maybe they heard about it.
That's true.
In this case, bulking. Typically, girls aren't going in this direction. Girls don't want to bulk.
I've been told to bulk.
And anybody who says, "Oh, you should bulk," you should say, "Oh, you should shut the hell up," because.
Or just turn around and walk away. Don't engage. Don't be mean.
Or that.
PositiviTEA. That's what
right.
we preach.
That's right. But
I
so
gotta
first
throw
of
that
all,
in every
who told you to bulk?
I don't want to say names.
Okay, we won't say
But
names.
somebody that is a coach. But I shall not say names. But I know you know who I mean.
We won't say names. But and so here's the thing, by the way. And actually, this is really good because I used to tell myself and I used to tell other people, hey, I'm bulking. I'm going to bulk up. And to the point where I was 185 pounds. And so if we could...
When was that?
That was
Not
like
recently,
2015.
right? Okay.
Maybe 2015. If you could, you should put that on the... right here.
You gotta send me a picture. You hit the screen!
Yeah. Alright, hold on. Here I am at 185 pounds. Hell of fat. So...
If I can put it there.
So the reason I was saying that, because I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna bulk, and I didn't see anything wrong with telling other people like, hey, you're gonna bulk up, okay, you want to bulk up, cool, this is how you do it. And so the reason I say that is because you're right, it is about positivity. And as I was driving here, I was feeling a lump on my heart because I was judging myself. And so when you judge yourself, or when you have any sort of emotion or thought, well, your feeling results because you had a thought and then you get this feeling. And so I had this feeling on my chest and I was like, what, and then if I stopped, I just noticed, I was like, man, I hate this feeling. Usually we just live in this feeling and we don't even know, but we know it fucking sucks. It doesn't feel good.
Guess we're just gonna take a break. I'm just kidding.
Can you? Hold on.
Well, he answers his phone after he called me out for texting Sean last time.
Hello?
Much later, much later, much later, much later.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Back to the show.
Those were two very important people. I had to take that. That was my father and my wife.
Okay,
So-
but so when I was messaging Sean, who's a very important person to me, and you gave me shit about it, and I was like, if it was Veronica, you would do the same thing, and you said, no, I wouldn't. Check episode 1, it's in there. I left it in
Anyways,
there.
so when you feel this physical feeling, have you ever experienced that?
I feel that with like everything. It sucks.
Okay. So anger, anxiety,
sadness, yeah.
whatever it is, you get a physical feeling, and so I was judging myself, and I was imagining worst case scenarios about a number of different things, just unconsciously. And then I stopped and I was like, I'm feeling this thing. And then I was listening to something And then he was mentioning something about loving yourself and being like not judging yourself for thinking something quote unquote wrong. So at that moment I was like, oh, I just focused on the word love, and I focused on the word on, oh, I love myself, and it's okay that I thought something wrong before. That doesn't make me bad now. In fact, no matter what I think or what I do, I can still love myself regardless. So that was like a conscious thing. And so in that moment, literally, that feeling fell away. So why am I bringing this up?
Because it's how you felt.
Yeah. But why am I bringing it up?
Because it has to do with bulking.
Yes, it does. We're coming all the way back around. So a lot of times people will be like, you know, oh, they won't say that they actually used to think this way too, and they'll beat themselves up about, oh, like, I used to be that guy. I was like, oh, bulking, but that's okay. I don't need to be negative about that. There's literally, I don't have to have a judgment about that. So, which is very helpful, because then all of a sudden you begin to, like, piece by piece, you begin to release these physical feelings, these physical manifestations because of these thoughts. So, like, you have to forgive yourself, and you can forgive yourself in every single moment, and all of a sudden you feel way better. But the point is, until you do that, you can't move forward. You can't make progress. You're not going to feel better. So even as I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, we're talking about bulking and how it's the wrong way to, it's not the right way, and there's a lot of things that are wrong with it, as far as like long-term health goes and getting the most out of your training, etc. Looking better, feeling better. It doesn't mean you need to have a judgment about it against yourself or somebody else, which will allow you to make progress, because then you'll feel better, and if you feel better, you can make progress, because that was the goal anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So going back to coming full circle, talking about why do you do things, it's because you think you'll feel better.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have a goal.
I would look better
if you bulked?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Then you're like, don't bulk. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but...
Well, because I was told to bulk because I've been naturally thin my entire life. So it was like, oh, bulk, gain some weight, then after you can cut, then you'll get shredded. And then I was just like, oh, okay. But the thing is, everyone thinks when it comes to bulking that they should dirty bulk, and they should just eat whatever the hell they want, put on hella weight hella fast, and then they can cut it. But that's not how it works. Like, muscle doesn't even grow that fast. Weight grows fast, like your fat.
Yeah, and there's a lot of just complexity around that whole thing unnecessarily. You don't need, so one, it's like kind of like a free ticket to just eat everything and like go crazy.
And forget calories.
Yeah, and not track calories, but that's the wrong way to do it. You actually don't need a lot of extra calories to begin to build muscle, because it's going to be slow anyway. So a small surplus is all you need. So then, even then, eat the right amount of food. Like, we were talking about fat loss, but we're talking about eat the right amount of food if you want to lose fat. For bulking or gaining muscle, you only add a small amount of calories to what you're eating, and that's it. A small amount, maybe 100 calories, maybe 200 200 calories is a lot of extra calories. And then you just stay there, because then you can monitor, like, you're not, number one, you have solid information about what's happening to your body because you're still tracking. So you're still developing good habits, but number two, you're not getting unnecessarily fat. Because what a lot of people find, actually a lot of people give up along the way because...
Of bulking?
Yeah, because they end up getting fat, and then they just never ever get lean again, and then like...
Yeah.
So, you know...
But sometimes, because I know someone that bulked. They just bulked, and then after when they started trying to cut again, they just noticed like they didn't build any extra muscle. They were just like, I was just fat. Like I just gained hella weight, and then I was just like, yeah. And that's why I didn't do it, because I was like, I saw that, and I was like,
well,
no.
that's who was that?
The same person that told me to do it in the first place. You know who it is.
Is it me?
No, it's not you.
Oh, well,
If
anyways.
it was you, I would say it was you, but we said no names. I'll tell you later.
Well, that's exactly what happened to me. So I was like, oh, so I started at like 148, shredded, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna bulk, I'm gonna gain muscle, and then we'll cut, and I'll be like 20 pounds heavier muscle. I got up to 185,
Yeah.
and then I was like, all right, I'm tired of being fat. I need to start. I couldn't wear the same clothes. Like my pants did not feel good. Like I wore baggy clothes because shit. Like I don't like feeling my clothes hella tight on me.
I love that feeling.
Well, now I like it
Different
because
feeling.
now when I'm lean, I like it, but I don't like it when it was like, shit. Like, anyways, so then I started cutting, and then I was like, I'm starting to lose fat, abs starting to peek out a little bit, getting a little bit more definition, and I'm like, okay, I'm down to like 170. All right, I think another 5 pounds and I'll be super lean. Another 5 pounds goes, still fat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, 160, I'll be super lean. 160, still fat. Continued the ball to the cut, right? And I ended up back at 148 pounds, shredded. And so I was the same weight. Now, I will say this, the 148 after the bulk versus the 148 prior to the bulk looked completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But now I would argue, was that because of the extra calories and the extra fat that I gained? Or was it that I had, during that time period, I lifted for 2 years?
Yeah.
So I could have not gotten fat and still looked like that after 2 years of lifting, which is what happens. So, you know, it's unnecessary, but I'll also say this. Words don't teach, only experience does.
So eat that Mickey D's.
What?
Bulk. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. So you'll find out for yourself. But yeah, I
Or
mean,
just see someone do it like I did and then just be like, I don't want to do it.
Can you tell me? Alright.
That's what I was saying, you know. It is.
But
Because that was like a whole thing where it was like bulking season, and I was just like, I don't really want to bulk, and then I didn't.
Well, see,
then do it, and I was just like,
that's what I'm talking about, where people just, they're like, let's just say they're in the bodybuilding culture, or they're following all these bodybuilders and bikini girls, and they're like, oh, I'm in my bulk season right now, and blah blah blah, and like whatever, and it's like,
was that your girl voice?
yeah, that's my girl voice.
Okay.
I'm in my bulk season now, and you know, getting a little fluffy, but come 2022, we're gonna cut. Blah blah blah. And so, anyways, like you just see all these people do this shit, and you just assume that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So you're not thinking for yourself. You're just doing what everybody else is doing and talking about. So I now question everything. You know, like, what do I want? What is my goal? What makes me feel good? And I'll tell you what that is. Being as lean as possible, as strong as possible, as athletic as possible, coordination, like...
AKA a snow leopard.
AKA being a goddamn snow leopard, not getting tired, being able to run without getting tired. That's what feels good to me, and just looking lean and athletic. And so, do I care about now, in that context, do I care about what the number is? Like, I'm 150 right now. Do I care that I'm not 185? No, I don't. I used to care about it a lot.
Why would you want to be 185?
Because that's what a man is supposed to weigh.
Oh, got it.
You know? So, like, That's why.
But who came up with that number anyway?
Fucking, I don't know, random people. Do you have any other thoughts on that?
On what? You're bulking?
No, just bulking in general. And having your own goals versus other people having their own, but following other people's goals.
Don't follow other people. Do what makes you happy and what makes you feel good. If you want to experiment, go for it. You'll learn your lesson. And if it works for you, it works for you. That's really dope. But
You don't need to make it that complicated.
I didn't mean.
Not you. I'm
Oh.
saying like you.
I was like, I
don't
thought
need to
that was
make
pretty
complicated.
simple.
And I think the real gem here was if you're feeling, because the goal of everything is to feel better.
Mhm.
And, you know, if you are feeling physical things that don't feel good,
Based off your mentality.
and that's where those feelings come from. That's your body thinking, which happens because your brain thinks, you know, but you're not your thoughts. You can observe your thoughts. But if that was the gem, so if you can observe those feelings and then forgive yourself for having those thoughts,
Love yourself.
instantly you'll feel them. And that's what it's all about.
Bye!